Darth Maul was the first Sith in centuries to reveal himself to the galaxy, and after being cut down by Obi Wan Kenobi on Naboo, he continued the reign of terror during the Clone Wars and beyond. But what would happen if Darth Maul actually killed Obi Wan instead?
We'll handle this.
We'll take the long way.
So, for this theory, I want to go over the idea that in the fight between Obi-Wan and Maul in Feed Palace, Maul manages to get the upper hand and kills Obi-Wan as well as Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, the immediate effects are pretty minimum. The Republic still manages to take Naboo as the Trade Federation's army and fleet are in ruin, and Maul would return back to Sidious successful in his mission. Likely the largest effect on the Star Wars timeline is that I highly doubt Anakin would ever be taken in and trained as the Jedi. It's no secret that pretty much everyone in the council was against training him due to his age and emotion. For this reason, I highly doubt that Anakin would ever become a Jedi, and that's going to make some pretty giant alterations from the Star Wars timeline. As well as this, there's Dooku. Now, Dooku was a Jedi who decided to abandon the Order and live his own life before he pledged loyalty to Sidious and became his apprentice. But with Maul alive, Dooku couldn't become Sidious' apprentice, meaning altogether he wouldn't be a Sith. Now, if Dooku would actually join Sidious without being lured by the power of the dark side is debatable, but honestly I doubt he would. And without Dooku, that's going to change a lot of things in the hierarchy of the Separatists. This means that Palpatine's plan to unify the Separatist movement and mobilise an army against the Republic in an attempt to further his own political standing would be far more difficult. He'd likely have to take a more hands-on approach to fighting the Republic, which would be far more risky and would increase the chance of him getting caught, or he'd have to get Maul to do it. Now, we'll say that somehow Palpatine manages to unify the Separatists behind someone other than himself as a puppet. He also manages to have the clone army built in secret, and also manages to start the Clone Wars, all the whilst Maul is still his apprentice, and the 10 years between the Battle of Naboo and the Clone Wars, Maul continues to revel in the dark side, meanwhile Palpatine sits in the Senate playing out his plans. Now, of course, Palpatine is incredibly powerful. However, what if in the 10 years between the Battle of Naboo and the start of the Clone Wars, Maul becomes even more powerful, enough to even rival Palpatine himself? Well, it's no secret what he'd likely do, what all Sith do when they become more powerful than their master. They attempt to kill them and take their place. But of course, that's going to be hard to do when your master's the leader of the Republic. If Maul decided he wanted to kill his master, he'd also have to defeat the Republic, as Palpatine is the Chancellor. To do this, he's going to have to beat the clones, the Jedi, and the Senate before he can get anywhere near Palpatine. Impossible, right? He's just one Sith after all. Well, not quite. Assuming Maul knows enough of Palpatine's plan, he knows that he has no intention of helping the Separatists at the end of the war, and if Maul was able to steal the CIS armies from under Palpatine's nose, he would become a real threat very quickly. Alternatively, he could just leak the fact that Palpatine is a Sith Lord, and chances are the Jedi would do the work for him. And without a Chancellor, the Republic would quickly begin to crumble under power plays and Maul, backed by his CIS allies. Now, this could go many ways. I mean, imagine if Maul was able to successfully invade the Republic, take over, oust the Senate, defeat the Jedi, and proclaim himself as the Emperor. Now, that's a very far-fetched idea, but it's definitely possible in this scenario, and an empire under Maul would likely not go down too well for the rest of the galaxy. But what do you think? This tiny change in events really brings about a plethora of different scenarios and drastically alters the timeline, so much so that it's impossible to work out every single little detail and scenario that could happen. But what do you think an empire under Maul would actually be like, and do you think that this is plausible? If not, put your opinions and scenarios below. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.